Keep it pyro.
Thursday night Pyro Radio, me Jay Fresh live in the place. It's the Jay Fresh and Friends show. You know how we do. Now, very gassed to have this guy in the building with me. I don't use the term UK music legend very often, but right now I am. DEXPLICIT in the place. What's going on, bro?
What's good? You got me blushing.
Yes, blushing on cam. It doesn't happen often. How you doing, bro? That's an honest introduction.
Nah, bless, man.
Responsible for some very, very pivotal records.
Some would say so.
I would say so, and everything I say is a fact. I'm never wrong. Listen, thank you for joining us tonight, man. I really appreciate it. Weekend is, of course, just around the corner, so the sun is starting to peek out behind these murky clouds in London. We're in a good place.
Thanks for having me down, man.
Thank you for bringing the sunshine, bro. Love that. So we're going to get into your half-hour power mix shortly, but before then, obviously, the first time you and I have had an opportunity to talk on radio.
Yes.
So, you know, this is a true exclusive. So I want to know, what is your opinion, or what do you believe the differences are between a beat maker and a producer?
I think a producer is more about a vision and putting a record together in its entirety. So, you know, when a producer's making a song, they're thinking and the thought process is different. They're thinking about the finished song. They're thinking about, you know, who to put on it. They're thinking about, I mean, some people might even go further as a producer in the independent world by what angles is this gonna go by once the tune's finished. I mean, how are we gonna push it? What's the angle on it? So I think whereas a beat maker can kind of just knock out beats.
Bang them out.
Bang out bangers. Yeah. So, you know, both very valuable musicians. I just think the thought process is different. One's thinking about the overall picture. One's thinking about their part to play.
That's a really good way of putting it. I always like to ask beat makers / producers about what they think about that, because people, would you believe, have different terms and kind of definitions of it, but that sums it up brilliantly, man.
Yeah,
the role kind of within the process. No, wicked. Now, many years ago, I used to live in Watford, and when I used to go record shopping, I used to go to The Vinyl, which is in Watford and Harrow. I used to go to Black Market, I used to go to Uptown, and occasionally I go to Rhythm Division if I had enough petrol in my car. And there were certain artists or record labels that were on the shelves in the record store, and as soon as I saw them, I didn't even need to listen to them. I would pick them up and buy them.
Was DXP one of them?
DXP was definitely one of them.
Do you know what?
The name you can trust.
You know what? We were lucky with DXP. I mean, we were in a place with that where every vinyl we put out. Do you remember there used to be a chart on BBC One Extra? It was like
was this Cameo's one?
Cameo's chart.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was compiled of all the record shops.
Yes. Yeah.
And
wow.
Literally everything we put out on that label, vinyl-wise, would soar to the top straight away. Some of them stayed there for like weeks and weeks. So we was it was fortunate, you know.
In a good creative space with good results.
Yeah, there you go.
Now, wicked, man. Well, like I said, responsible for some real kind of pivotal records, and the one that I know that you'll be sick to death of talking about, but we're going to have to talk about it because it's the first time we've been on radio, is of course the biggest grime tune there's ever been, and probably the biggest grime tune there ever will be. I still call it Forward.
Well, I call it both.
So to some of our younger listeners, they might think Lethal Bizzle or Pow. They might think of a recent version from 2014.
Yes.
But the original version 2011, my bad, there you go, losing my mind. But the original version 2004, constructed by yours truly.
Yeah.
Greatness. Great. I know you're a very, very humble guy, and the idea makes you slightly uncomfortable. I don't mean to make you uncomfortable, but I just have to put it out there, like on record, on film, on air, man. Thank you. Thank you for what you've done, bro. This was calm.
Nah, thanks to you and everyone that supported that record, man. Yeah.
So you found, with all the records you've been releasing over the years and collaborating with artists and stuff, how quick and easy was it for you to kind of find your signature sound? Because that's something that some producers never find.
That's a very interesting question, because you know what? when I was doing back then, I wasn't using the typical kind of garagey, grimy sounds that everyone else was using. I was getting my sounds from hip hop sounds. I was literally chopping up hip hop
to then have your own sounds.
Yeah, to have my own
that
sounds.
No one else has.
Yeah. So do you know what? There's an artist called Random Impulse. His name's Javel now. And he's probably the only person that clocked that. He said it to me years ago. I couldn't believe it. You know what? To be fair, I didn't even realize that was a thing. I was just doing it. That was just
how you did it.
That's what I had access to. That's what I was using. Javel was like, yo, Dex, I know what you're doing. I've clocked you. I said, what are you talking about? He said, look, you're using hip-hop samples and everyone else is using garage samples. And I think, I don't know, my influence is...
Did you have to pay him a bit of money to keep quiet?
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. Nah, do you know what it is? I think my influences weren't the same as a lot of people as well. So whereas a lot of people were taking influence directly from garage, as a lover of garage myself as well, I was taking a lot of my influence from ragga and dancehall. I mean, we'd just come out of the whole 90s bashment era.
Yep.
And my household was very ragga.
Sick.
So yeah, I think my influence is like, I didn't even realize at the time, to be honest. So it wasn't a conscious thing.
It was just that's what you were immersed in.
Yeah,
that was you.
Yeah. So people were saying to me, "Rah, Dex, I can hear like there's so much ragga in your tunes," and I couldn't really hear it at the time. But eventually, as I started to mature, as like musically, I could hear it. Okay, yeah, I can hear it now. All the ragga swings and yeah. Could hear it.
Wicked. No, that's, again, everyone's got their own story, man. I love hearing that. And when it comes to actually programming tracks as well, you just use your computer keyboard.
Yeah, do you know what?
That's some madness, bro. It's embarrassing people like me massively.
Mouse and keyboard. Do you know what? It's mad because I mean, I've done songs with actual musician keyboard as well, but they sound different, and in a good way. They sound just different. And you know what it is? It's workflow as well. I can just work so fast.
I guess if that's how you do it, again, like you said before, when you found your sound, you don't even think about it. That's just how you flow, how you roll.
Yeah.
Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah. Well, you know what? People forget that I was kind of in the boom at the start of this era of producers that were producing without no studio. So, you know, Fruity Loops 1, I started with Fruity Loops 1, do you know what I mean? So, well, I started before that, but I saw that come in. So when that happened, it's like, right, you could use any computer in your mom's house and make songs. So I was part of the generation that didn't have the big keyboards and all this. So we made do with what we had.
You made the best, and that is such a kind of staple and iconic line of grime music and culture and everything. You did the best of what you had access to.
That's it. Yeah.
That's part of the appeal as well, man. Still sick. I love these stories. I love digging back in time. Let's bring it a little bit more up to date. Are there any particular producers or artists or vocalists out there that at the moment you're like, rah, I'm really feeling them? They might not be the kind of person who you would do a tune with, but you might have stumbled across them on Instagram being like, she's cold.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna talk anywhere on the planet right now,
go for it, bro.
Do you know who's I'm just crazy about her right now? Coffee.
Everywhere. Everywhere.
Crazy, isn't it? Crazy.
Sick though, very, very, very sick.
Yeah. So I mean, you know what it is? I threw Coffee's name out because if I start mentioning the few that I can remember in England, there might be some people say, right, how come you didn't say me? Yeah. So I know that I'm gonna miss out people. You know, there's loads of artists and producers.
You've been in the game a long time, man. You think it well. So you're going to provide us with a very exclusive half-hour of power, and what we do for every show, the last half an hour, we hand it over to sick DJ or a DJ and MC combination who come through, and they go mad in the place. It's a madness. It's like sick. The club raving. They just bring that energy. I know you're going to have a bag of dubs as well. So what can people expect over the next half an hour here at Pyro?
Okay, so I'll be honest, I just brought everything. So I didn't really plan like I'm going to do this and this and this. But I'm definitely going to get some of my newer stuff out, which is, to me, in what I was trying to achieve with this sound is something that the grime MCs could ride and the kind of the drillers could ride as well on the same beat. So potentially you could get collabs with both worlds in one,
which is a sick idea, man.
And also just, you know, I'll play a few things just to remind people of, you know, some people might have heard tunes that just don't know it was me.
Just remind them what time it is.
So yeah, just vibe with it.
Wicked. And just before we step in the mix, socials. I know that your Insta and Twitter are mad, because I swear, like, every day I wake up and it's a clip of you, like you were in Terror Danger studio earlier, like you're like, oh yeah, here's like another banger I've done, here's another just complete shellers of a record. So how can people keep up to date with those videos and other stuff on your social media? Basically,
I'm on everything as DEXPLICIT. Luckily, no one else used that name, so I don't have to put 101 or anything at the end. It's just DEXPLICIT, DEXPLICIT. And yeah, also, can I just say, I'm about to put a sample pack out.
I saw that.
Yes, it's coming out on the 22nd of April. It's called Grime Strings, and it's just, you know, producers that want to use string loops. And some people might not have the plugins, because some of these plugins are expensive. So, you know, I've got the plugins. I've made some nice string loops at 140. So it's a full pack of royalty-free string loops.
And how can people purchase that? Is it straight off the socials?
What do you mean?
You're not selling this pack?
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
No, basically, it's gonna be on like my Bandcamp and stuff, but I'm also distributing it, so it's gonna be on sounds.com, Beatport Sounds, I think it's called, Producer Loops, a few of the, you know, the typical spaces where producers can buy stuff, sample packs from. So
22nd of April.
22nd of April. Yeah, look out for that.
Is that Bank Holiday Monday?
Yeah.
So, you know, when you've got that mad hangover from Sunday night, get online and purchase it.
Well, I figured everyone's going to be at home. Why not?
Wicked. Listen, it's been great to catch up. We need you on this side of the decks. It's Pyro Radio. It's Thursday night. Jay Fresh and Friends. Very special half-hour power with DEXPLICIT. Let's get into it right now.